Welcome to the Speak Your Success podcast.
What's going on, successors, and welcome to the Speak Your Success podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Jones, and today we're coming at you with another episode of the Speak Your Success podcast. Man, I'm here in Franklin, Tennessee. This is my first time in Tennessee actually staying the night. I came down once before for my brother. He was in a band competition or something like that many years ago. It was a really cold night. That's another story for another podcast episode. However, I want to ask you, what does it mean for you to free your dream? Because as I'm at this conference put on by Cliff Ravenscraft and his family and his crew and his tribe, it just really has me thinking about freeing my dream. Freeing my dream would look like not working for anybody else, where I can't demand a level of personal freedom, not being in a position to where I can't have financial freedom. And even in addition to those things, it would look like me helping other individuals learn to speak their success, helping other individuals learn to share their story, share their testimony, and ultimately using that as a platform to encourage other people to do the exact same thing. So what does freeing your dream look like to you? I really want you to think about that. Get a pen, get a piece of paper, and begin to write it out. Freeing my dream right at the top of the paper. And under it, I want you to write, number one, that looks like being able to stay home with your family. Freeing my dream, that looks like operating in a family business. Freeing my dream looks like bringing my children and my family along with me, writing a book, whatever it could be. I'm really curious just to hear some of your answers. If you would like to connect with us and if you would like to even chime in, tweet in, be sure to use the hashtag SYSPod, SYSPOD with the hashtag in front of it, and tweet us what that looks like for you to free your dream. Because I'm curious to hear and see how many people out there are looking to learn how to speak and communicate with the audience and be able to get on keynotes and platforms and things like that, or looking to hear about how many people want to write a book. And whatever your dream might be, it might not be any of those things, but I'm just curious to hear from you. So be sure just to tweet that in, chime that in, mention me on Twitter at Jonathan J Speaks, or mention the podcast page at SYS Podcast 1. Mention us so we can know that you're listening, so we can shout you out on the episode. Because this conference really has me thinking, like, free the dream. And the logo for the conference is really a bird's cage with it open and you see a bird flying out. Because that's what our dreams are. Sometimes our dreams are trapped in the cage, which is our mind. Because some of us haven't got out of the mindset of limiting beliefs or self-limiting beliefs. And that's a whole nother episode. I'll talk about that another time. But really getting into that, what that looks like, is because so many times we say, I want to do blank. And ultimately based on our circumstances, based on the people around us, based on people who we've come across in our day-to-day lives who tell us, that's not realistic, John. You're not going to do that because you have 2 kids. You're not going to do that because you have this much student loan debt. You're not going to do that because you need this job. You need this security. You need this comfort. However, when we get to the place to where we say, you know what, I hear what you're saying, but I choose not to accept that for my life. I'm not going to receive that as a truth for my life. That can be your opinion. That can be your thought, but I don't want it, so you can have that back. And when we get to that space, that's when things begin to shift for us. And I'm realizing that at this conference. So friends, I know that you all haven't had the opportunity and didn't make it to this conference, or maybe you are at this conference. I'm curious to hear what your dream free looks like. Mention us on Twitter or Instagram at SYS Podcast 1, or use the hashtag SYSPod and type in what it means for you to free your dream, because I'm really curious to hear, and I'm really wanting to see just all that map out. TEDx speaker and best-selling author Jonathan Jones reminding you to speak your success, believe in your greatness, and continue to create the life and business of your dreams. Why would you want to live any other way?